Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. So this is going to be a very short episode because it's one I didn't intend to record. Why? Well, some of you have been following along with Cassidy, who was a high school senior and is now graduated and is getting ready to head off to college. When we last left off, she was trying to decide where to attend, and I thought it would be fine if we didn't actually reveal where she ended up, which, silly me, y'all wrote in and were like, yo, we need to know. So here it is. I wouldn't call it the end of, really the beginning of Cassidy's journey into college. Here's the answer to where she ended up. Hi, Cassidy. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hi, good to be back.
So just to set context for folks, I totally messed up. I just, thought it would be fine if we just had a final episode with you where it was like a mystery of Cassidy ended up somewhere great, probably. And I thought that would be fine for people. And it wasn't, because we got these requests, not like upset requests, but people being like, yo, where did Cassidy decide? And I realized that's no way to end a series. So here we are on the follow-up, the reveal. Where did you finally decide? And I don't know that we should do an actual drum roll, but I'd love to, actually, before we get into where you actually decided, I'd just love to hear, it's your summer before college. What are you up to this summer? How are you spending your last summer post high school?
Yeah, it's been really good, a good summer. I actually just finished a course to get my EMT certification. So
Awesome.
That's been super fun. And then just hanging out. Oh, I actually got my wisdom teeth out too. And yeah, hanging out with friends and stuff. So it's been really chill.
Amazing. And before, again, you reveal, how are you preparing for college as you're starting to think about heading off? Because you're probably going to leave in a month, I'm guessing.
Yes, my move-in day is on the 19th of August.
Cool.
So, yep, a little less than a month. But I've already chosen my classes and stuff, doing my dorm shopping and yeah, that kind of stuff.
Amazing. All right. So walk us through, what were the things that you were considering when you were trying to decide, and ultimately where are you going to be in the fall?
Yeah, so I don't remember if I talked to you guys before I did tours and stuff, but I toured all of my top choice colleges, did a lot of thinking, a lot of praying about it. And I talked to friends that I had at the colleges and just about their experience there. Yeah. And then do you want me to say where I ended up?
Let's do it.
Okay. I ended up at UC Berkeley, which
Awesome.
I'm super excited about. So, yeah.
Sweet. And what had you ultimately decide on Berkeley over some of the other schools? And just for folks who maybe don't remember, will you just remind folks of what the different options were?
Yeah. So my top three were UC Berkeley, USC, and UC San Diego. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like I definitely ended up at Berkeley for a variety of different reasons, but one of them was that when I visited a couple times, after I got my decision, and both of them I really loved the campus. I loved the vibe of the campus. I feel like I was really able to see myself living there for the next 4 years, more than any of the other two that I was considering. And then I was just getting really excited about the opportunities that I'd be able to pursue at Berkeley. Not that any of the opportunities at USC and UC San Diego were I don't know, not as good. It was just I feel like it was a better fit for me at Berkeley. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
And what, I'm curious to double click here, what felt like a better fit? Was it the program offerings? Was it was it Berkeley itself, the nearby town, or what felt this is my place? Because I imagine that if students or parents are listening to, there's going to be this moment where, they're in that same position of kind of walking the campus and taking the tours. And I'm just really curious to get into the specifics of not when you knew, but if you had a when you knew moment, what were some of the particularities of that?
Okay, Cal Day, I really loved just exploring the campus. The people that I met were all super sweet. And then also really, really, I feel like we connected on our academic drive and stuff. And then also I did a tour, and my tour guide happened to be also pre-med. And so he gave me a ton of cool insights on why he loved being pre-med at Berkeley, and then what resources and stuff and opportunities he took advantage of. And I thought that was like, it was really just like getting me hyped for like, that kind of experience at Cal too. And then one of the big things for me was that like Berkeley is like, there's a lot of research happening on campus. And so like one of the things that my tour guide talked about was that the inventor of CRISPR, gene editing technology, is a professor at Berkeley. And he took a class with her and he like was working on CRISPR actually like in one of his like research labs. And he was able to just literally like talk to her about like, oh, like I need a couple tips on like how to do it. And I was like, that is just so like incredible. And I feel like just to have like that kind of opportunity, like it felt like that's what I was drawn to and stuff like that. Yeah.
Neat. And I'm also curious in terms of, was there anything, am I right that you visited a few different campuses?
Yes.
And was there anything different about the visit day that really landed for you? You mentioned the tour guide. I just wonder in terms of just the way that those were constructed, was there anything that felt different about Berkeley?
Yeah. Let's see. For the admitted students day, I feel like it was structured in a way like, honestly, like kind of nerdy, but like in a good way. Because they had like a bunch of like, you could sign up to go to lectures and stuff versus like, I guess at like USC, there was like a big, like, it was more of like a conference style where we have like a panel of students on the stage, which was also super cool. And I loved that too. But I feel like just like the vibes, I was getting more excited about like going to Berkeley's offerings and stuff. Yeah. And then, yeah, I just feel like when I was on campus at USC, it was less of like I could see myself going here, living here for the next 4 years versus at Cal, I really could see myself living there.
Did you spend time like in the nearby city, as it were, like in terms of like, did you go through Berkeley? Did you go through LA? Did you get a chance to experience the differences there?
Yeah, I went more through Berkeley than LA, probably. I really did like Berkeley's downtown vibe. It was super cute. And then, yeah, USC, it felt like, there's very much like a campus, like kind of bubble, I feel like. And then there was like the outside too, which is like also super cool, but like maybe not as much what I was looking for.
Yeah. So curious to like put you into like advice giving mode for a second and go, all right, when other students are listening to this in the future and they're thinking about how to decide among different schools, now that you've sort of just freshly gone through it, is there any advice that you'd give to students or parents, really families going through this process?
I don't know if I'm like qualified to give advice, but like, I don't know, like if I could say anything, for me, I was super stressed because I felt like it was like, this decision is like this huge accumulation of my whole high school, like everything I've done in high school. And then it was honestly like the stress I'd say was comparable to like actually going through the application process, which is kind of crazy because I feel like no one really talks about that. Maybe that's just me, but I would say like wherever you end up, I think you're going to end up at the place that's meant for you, and to have fun with your decision, and instead of like stressing over like needing to pick the perfect college, otherwise like it's going to mess up the next 4 years of your life kind of thing.
Awesome. Well, honestly, that's all I've got. Like, I'm so grateful to like check in with you and to hear that you seem happy, like you're smiling, you seem, I don't know, downright optimistic. And like I said last time, I'm just so excited for you to embark on this journey.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for checking in, and have what we should do? We should do some follow-up or something in like a year. Be like, yo, how was your first year? I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I'd be so down to do that.
Okay, maybe this isn't fully goodbye then. This is just like the beginning of the Cassidy, or like episode, I don't know what it is now, 6 or 7 in, the life of a soon-to-be college student. And then you can come back and tell us about freshman year.
Yeah, I'd be so happy to do that.
Awesome. Well, have an amazing rest of your summer, and it was great to talk to you.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, friends, as ever, for listening. If you're not subscribed yet to our email newsletter, that's where you'll find out about all our upcoming webinars, our Pay What You Can courses, and so much more. Just go to anything on the website and opt in, or you can opt in on the main homepage. Thanks all, and stay curious.